One of the best ways to increase your workflow efficiency and simply make things easier and faster is by learning to use the key commands and macros within Nuendo. Key commands are essential to giving you instant access to commonly used functions and options within Nuendo. To further enhance this, Nuendo lets you create macros, which are a special kind of key command that will perform multiple commands that you combine and specify. Think of it as pressing one button to perform a whole combination of different commands. I'm sure you're going to find this to be an extremely useful tool. In this tutorial, we'll cover the basics of creating key commands and macros, and show you a couple of examples how you might use them within everyday work environments. Nuendo comes programmed with many key commands ready to go. However, if you plan on editing and customizing them to your specific liking, then you won't be let down by Nuendo's extensive key command editor. This key command and macro editor is located within the main file menu. In this dialog box, you have a full listing of every possible command and function that can be performed within Nuendo. And I do mean everything. Using this list allows you to modify existing key commands or create new ones. To edit your macros, you simply activate the Show Macros button below. Alright, let's go ahead and take a closer look. In the editor, you have several main areas to work with. First, you have a handy search tool that allows you to easily search for specific commands. Nuendo will find them and display them within the command list window. This window gives you access to every single command possible within Nuendo. Once a command is highlighted, you will see a list of all the current keys that are assigned to this command over to the right. To assign a key command, you simply highlight the command you want, then type in a key in the empty field below the key assignment window. If the key you choose is already assigned to a different command, then this command will show up below the field. If you are sure this is the key you want, then simply click the Assign button and Nuendo will add it to the key assignment list. This key will now be assigned to the command you've chosen. To take this one step further, we have the ability to assign multiple commands to a single key. These are called macros. The macro editor can be accessed by clicking on the Show Macros button below. With this open, you'll see a list of macros already included with Nuendo. Each macro is titled, and then nested underneath is a list of all the commands that make up that macro. What this means is that when you activate this macro, all the commands listed will take place. This is great for everything from doing corrective type work to creative effects processing, or anything that you find yourself doing on a constant basis. To activate macros, you can assign them to individual keys on your keyboard. All the macros are listed under the macro category. So you simply find a macro and then assign it a key to it. If you want to create a new macro, you click on the New Macro button, name the macro, and then begin adding commands to the macro by selecting them from the command list above. So let's take a moment to cover a few tips that can help you make even more use of these powerful key commands and macro functions. One thing that is unique to using macros in Nuendo is the ability to make plugins part of a macro. For instance, let's say we have a specific set of effects that you know you want to apply to an audio event with specific settings. Thus, you don't necessarily need to spend valuable real-time CPU power for this process. In this example, let's create a macro that can be used to add a bit of warmth and a bit of analog-style sound to any keyboard recordings you do. First, we'll create a new macro and call it Vintage Keys Warmth. Then we'll add both the Detube and the Magneto plugin. Now that those are added, we'll close the macro editor and look for our new macro within the list of commands. There it is. Now we'll assign a specific key to it. We'll use the letter V for this one. We click the Assign button and now it's assigned. Now let's go back to our project and highlight some audio events on this keyboard track. Now we simply press the V key on our keyboard and Nuendo will initiate the vintage warmth macro that we've created. First, we get the to plugin. I'll make a small adjustment and process it. Then, the Magneto plugin automatically comes up next. I'll slightly adjust the drive just a little bit on this one and hit process. Now let's check it. There, we got a little more bite and dirt to the keyboard line. Another useful enhancement in the key commands is the ability to change the entire layout of your key commands with the press of one button. Let's say that you have a certain set of commands that you only use when you're performing detailed sample editing. By using the alternate keys function, you can switch to a new layout in seconds. To use this feature, all you have to do is assign a key to the Toggle Alternate Key Commands option. You'll find this command listed in the main key commands list. Once you assign a key to it, every press of the key will cycle through the list of presets that you have listed over to the bottom right. This is a wonderful tool that can be used in so many ways. Another example would be creating key command sets for different members of your editing team who all share the same Nuendo system. They can easily switch to their key command layouts at the flick of a button. So wrapping things up, you can clearly see how effective key commands and macros can be to your workflow. They can instantly increase your ability to work quickly within a project, especially as projects get larger and harder to manage. You may find yourself stumbling around at times trying to find something. By using key commands and macros, they can definitely help you stay focused no matter what the task is.